Hey guys, welcome back. We are live again with SFC Defined, 5 o'clock on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope you have had an opportunity to go out and enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, doing some new stuff. We got some new toys and gadgets and stuff to figure out to play with to make this a little bit more exciting for you guys. Appreciate that, Benny. We're trying to get professional. Nice intro, thank you. But yeah, we are trying to do stuff different and trying to just move to that next level. That's where we're headed, and that's where we're going. Listen, while some other people are trying to get on and all of this stuff, because I know with the new stuff, you might say, "Well, is that SFC?" But yeah, it's us. It's us just trying to do something new and a little bit more exciting. But let me just tell you, don't forget, we've got our fragrance on sale up until February 14th, Valentine's Day. It's going to be $20. And remember, I told you that I understand completely that it's a new fragrance and you don't know what it smells like. So a lot of you have a little apprehension about getting it. I totally understand that. I mean, I would be in the same state of mind if I was trying to buy something new that I've never smelled before. But what I'm going to do is I will give your money back. If you get it and you don't like it, I'll give you money back. It's that simple. It's just, it's like zero risk. All you got to do is just get it. We'll get it shipped out to you. I am super excited about it. I mean, like everybody that has it, that wears it, loves it. And again, if you don't like it, no harm, no foul. I got tougher skin than that. All you got to do is say, "Corey, I don't like it." Here, take it back and I'll give you money back. No problems, no questions asked. So try that. Let me know what you think. The only thing that I do ask is that when you do buy it and you love it, write a review about it. Just go in and talk about it for us, okay? Spread the word and let them know we're still trying to break into that industry, and I'm super excited about it still. So anyway, we're starting a new series. It's a new month. Happy February to everybody. So excited about this month. I don't know why, but I am super excited about this month for whatever reason, because I really believe that great things are headed in my direction, but also in your direction. So as it is a new month, we're going to start with a new series. And the title of the series you see on your screen is What Got Me Here. In lieu of so many people, especially people of color, who are committing suicide, like literally you heard of the young lady, Miss America, Miss Universe, whatever her title was, one of the mayors in Maryland, him, and then just right in the local area in Greensboro, Winston-Salem area, there are 2 or 3 additional suicides. And you know, one of the things that I really want to spend time talking about, when I was in education, teaching, especially elementary school, the funny thing about kids is when they act out or when they do things out of character, I learned that it's not something that they just do. There is always an antecedent. There is always something, always something that calls them to do something that they normally did not do. There was always some type of antecedent, some type of trigger that caused them to exhibit an abnormal behavior. So, you know, I would always go to them and just try to get to the root cause, of why were you acting like this? Why did you do this? This is not typical for you. This is not normal behavior for you. So with kids, you have to go back and figure out what caused or triggered that negative behavior. But what I come to realize is, as I moved to the collegiate level of teaching, and when I started doing that and started doing some of the other things that I do, I realized that adults are the same way. The difference is kids have a problem expressing themselves. They have a problem communicating, and you have to really pull it out of them. You have to try to make them talk to you in a way that they can fully express themselves, while at the same time you fully understand their self-expression. But I realize that it's not that different with adults. Now we are so guarded, and we are so scared that people are going to look at us in a negative way. People are going to feel like we're weak. People are going to think that we don't have it all together. But the reality is, all of us deal with something. And there are things that we deal with. And trust me, I can tell you, because I'm going to just talk about me. There are things that I deal with that I know that I can get through. I see it. It's a problem for a day or an hour or a minute or whatever, and I'm able to get past that. It's like, no, I'm good. But then there are times when there are things that I just cannot seem to figure out. There are solutions that I know are out there, but I don't know how to get to them at that particular moment. So I become a little depressed, I become a little agitated, I become a little irritated, and I begin to lash out to those that are around me at the time. So, one of the things that I want to try to do is to get people not just to communicate to somebody, but effectively communicate. There is a huge difference in communicating and communicating effectively. A lot of us, when you lash out, cuss, fuss, go off, whatever you want to call it, that's a form of communication, but that's not effective communication. When you can sit down and talk to somebody, anybody, you can do it to a total stranger, but you sit down and you talk to anybody, it helps you get to the root cause. And that's what we want to talk about for the month of February. What got me here? What got you to a place that caused you to act abnormally? What got you to a place that caused you to lash out or shut down? What got you to a place where you feel like the world is against you and there's no hope? That's what we need to talk about. So listen, I hope that I can get some good interaction, because I'll be the first to tell you, I don't have all the answers. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I wish I did, because if I did, I'd post them up on here and we wouldn't even have this discussion. But I want you to talk to me, and I hope that you are candid enough and transparent enough in our communication with each other that you will feel like you're helping somebody else, because you may be brave enough to talk about one of your life experiences and it could touch, help, change, transform somebody else's life. So I want you to think about an experience that you've recently gone through where you know that it has taken you out of character, that you did something, said something, acted a certain way that really took you out of character. And then I want you to ask yourself the question, what got me to that point? What got me to that point? Because some people are strong enough to get there and then come back out. Other people, they get there and that's where they stay. That's where they abide for days, weeks, months, and even years, until whatever got them there changed their character, changed their perception, changed their personality. So let's talk for a minute. I got Denise on here. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. I talk to me. What do you think? What some of your experiences that you don't mind sharing? And it could be one. Give me a hypothetical one. But what got you to that point? Because I think that that's what we need to bust wide open. That when you are feeling out of control, when you are feeling um, depressed, when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling like your world is unraveling and about to fall apart, I don't think enough of us ever take the time to figure out what got us there, because we want to put a band-aid on stuff, but we never really want to heal the wound. I'll put a band-aid over it, but I'm not really healed. I'll bandage it up. I'll go another 6 months, a year, 2 years, but I never really heal. So when it happens again, I'm going in that downward spiral once again. So talk to me. Tell me your thoughts on some of the triggers that you have perhaps experienced, that it took you out of character and caused you to do things that you wouldn't typically do sometimes. Hey, Catherine, it says, how do you know that you are sharing your thoughts and feelings with the right person and that person will not hold it against you? Well, I think the thing about that is, Catherine, you have to know who you can trust. And I think over a period of time, that person that you feel like you can share with, you're able to know that in your heart, in your mind, the connections that you form, you will be able to know of whether or not you can trust them and use them against you. One of my philosophies is that nobody should be able to say anything about you that you cannot say about yourself, especially if it's the truth. So if you're speaking the truth to them, and if they use it against you, so what? You know, you live and learn. And I think that that is one of the things, that releasing that and putting it out there helps you heal from what got you here. So I want to talk about that. Give me some more. Thanks, Catherine. What else? Tell me. What are some of your triggers? What are some of the things that you realize? I mean, think about the depression. You know, suicide, like that is not common for people of color in most instances. However, there are more people of color who are feeling so low that they don't feel like there's a way out. They don't realize that what they're going through today could be over tomorrow. Like, they are so focused on whatever got them there that they don't have hope for a 24-hour period. Like, literally, there is zero hope for the next 24 hours, knowing that life can change. Because we all know that, you know, you can feel bad today, but tomorrow you can feel on top of the world. You can be going through something today, and tomorrow you completely over it and it feels wonderful. There are people who get stuck in that moment of hopelessness. And we got to figure out, y'all got to help me figure out what gets us here? What gets us to this point where we feel like there is no hope? When we feel like that the only thing that we can do is walk out, or feel like the only thing we can do is quit or give up. What gets you to that point? What got me here? You know, and that's what I want to talk about today. I really want to spend that time, and I'm watching the screen because I want you guys to interact with me some today. I really want you to interact with me. I think it's so important, because I'm going to ask that you like and share this video. I really am, because this is something that we need to spread. People need to understand that there is no such thing as life getting so hard that you become hopeless. I mean, I don't care what you go through. I don't care what you experience, whether it's loss, whether it's a loss of job, a loss of a loved one, whatever. This too will pass. It really will. It may take some time. I'm not saying that it won't. It may take some time, but it's not here to last. It's here to pass. Benny says, one of my triggers from a time I was often in depression was feeling inadequate. And yeah, but then let's take it another step further, Benny, and figure out what got you to the feeling of inadequacy. You know, what made you feel inadequate? You know, inadequacy is what caused the depression, but what caused the inadequacy? And that's where we know we need to get to the very root cause of what people, you know, our society, it does more harm than good in so many instances. because it makes us feel like that we've always got to be better than, we got to look as good as, we got to do as much as, we've got to always be on our A game. But you've got to do, you've got to do what causes you to be happy. You know, I made the comment, I read in the book, I read it in the book some time ago that said, don't mistake less miserable for being happy. Don't mistake being less miserable for being happy. We need to find where happiness is for us, and that's where we need to stay. That's where we need to abide, in that place of bliss, in that place of fulfillment, in that place of happiness and peace of mind, regardless of what's going on around us, regardless of what is happening. Remember, most things in our life, I would safely say all things in our life, very few of those things happen to us. They actually happen for us, and you have to have that mindset. You know, it's even negative situations, they happen for us. They don't happen to us, and we get into that victim's mentality and don't want to leave because we find comfort in being petted, and being pitied and patted and petted and all of that stuff. We find comfort in that, but you've got to break out of that. I really need for us as adults to figure out how to effectively communicate. How is it that you can go from up here and end up down here? How? What got you here? You know, what got you here? What took you out of that place of happiness, brought you here? And that's what we're going to talk. We got to spend this month on it, y'all. I really do. This is something that's very dear to me. I was invited this past week to UNCG to speak to the teaching fellows students there who are aspiring to be educators. And it's crazy because I spent about an hour in there talking to the class, and it was a beautiful experience for me. So last night, I checked my email, and one of the students in there emailed me and was like, I really want to be a part of this project that we're doing in class, but I feel like I don't have anything to contribute. I'm the only male in the classroom, and even though I want to be a part of everything that's going on, I just don't feel like I'm fitting in. So, you know, in my response, I'm like, but why don't you feel like, if you've got something to contribute, you're in there obviously able to handle the same caseload, the prerequisites, all of the requirements as all of the other students have. Why do you feel like you don't have anything to contribute? Or why do you feel like that your contribution to the projects in the classroom are not as spectacular as the next person's contributions? So we've been going back and forth on an email with that. And, you know, I've come to the conclusion that it really has nothing to do with him being the only male in the class. It doesn't have anything to do with him being inadequate or feeling not like that he's incapable of producing. It's really about his mindset and his feeling about it. And I thought about it. He said to me, I don't know if you noticed me because I was the only guy in the class. My response, well, we all had on masks. It was hard for me to notice. But wait, I think I remember you. Were you sitting? And that's all it took. And you could tell the whole tone of his email changed because he was noticed. And I really believe that he just needed for somebody to notice him. That was it. And then the whole tone of his interaction with me has completely changed. That it gets us here to the point where sometimes all it takes is for us to know that somebody cares. And I don't think we have enough of that going around in society. Denise says, have you made a decision about having a live at 5 on Zoom? We can do a version. of Live at 5 on Zoom. If y'all gonna talk to me, I need y'all to talk to me right now because I ain't gonna do no Zoom if y'all ain't gonna talk to me. I need y'all to talk to me. Hey, Lincoln, it says this. I have found that with 3 of the young Black men I mentor, what got them there was lack of self-esteem growing up, which turned into a mindset. Does it go back to that foundational development and or perhaps parenting for lack thereof? I totally agree. I mean, for some it does, Lincoln. It does go all the way back to the upbringing and what was instilled in us. I was listening to a guy, I think it was Bruce Lipton. He said for the first 6 years of our lives, we don't have a conscious mind. We don't make a choice. We don't make a decision. We are literally sponges for the first 6 or 7 years that we are just actually absorbing everything that we see, that we hear, that we feel. And this formulates our beliefs or lack of belief. So I really do, Lincoln, believe that it will go all the way back for some to the parent, especially if you thrive on it. And I was sharing something earlier today about one of my godsons. Thank you, Lincoln, for that. But yeah, I do believe it could go back that far. And when you can take it back to that age to where this is what I was taught, this is what I've always been taught, this is what I believe, and we get rid of some of those limiting beliefs about ourselves. We get rid of some of those low self-esteem because as a child we heard certain things about us, or we were always compared to somebody else and we never lived up to that comparison. It was all of that. We all did. We all did that. And so we still have those limiting beliefs. But one of the things that we need to do is get rid of those limiting beliefs. The only way that you can do that is by retraining your thinking process. You know, I was told I was not going to make it or I wasn't going to be anybody. But just because I was told that, does that mean I have to believe it? And at some point, as we grow older, we'll get to that threshold where we get to decide what we want about us. Literally at some point in that life's process or that life's journey, you have to make a decision that you are going to continue to embrace those limiting beliefs or you're going to retrain the way you think and move forward. Okay. I was sharing with earlier about second, I had to go back to Lincoln. Thank you, Lincoln, again. This is much deeper, but too much to type. I get it, Benny. Oh, it says, through counseling, I had help in uncovering that my feelings of inadequacy stemmed from 1, unresolved self-esteem issues from childhood, 2, self-imposed actions of trying to overachieve in careers, etc., ending up setting myself up for failure. The moment things did not go as well as I expected them, I would go into that zone. And see, that's what I'm talking about, Benny. I think that for so many of us, you know, you said through counseling, you went back and you realized that my sense of inadequacy, my sense of less than, my sense of not being fulfilled or accomplished in certain endeavors, it all stemmed from my childhood and my unresolved self-esteem issues. And that's exactly what this whole series is about. What got me here? And let me just put that plug. Thank you, Benny. Thank you for saying you went through counseling. Let me tell you something. If you are dealing with mental issues, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like the world is against you, get some help. You know, get some help. It doesn't say anything negative about you. It really says, I love myself so much that I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. Get some counseling, get somebody that you can talk to and let them hear what you're feeling. And remember, last month we were talking about feeling. Your feeling is what starts on the inside, but is manifested on the outside. So whatever you're feeling on the inside, if you're feeling depressed, less than, inferior, that's exactly what this world, your outward experience, is going to show you and give back to you. But it doesn't have to be that way. Get some help. Get some help. Thank you, Benny, for that, because we need to, you know, our Black culture really goes against or thinks against, you know, therapy and mental therapy and counseling. Get some help. Lay down your pride and talk some things through. And that way you can get to the root cause, those limiting beliefs that you encountered as children based off of folk who didn't know no better. Our parents told us stuff and they didn't mean no harm by it. They were not trying to set us up for failure. They were not trying to, it was something that they passed on because it was passed on to them, who was passed on to them, and all that stuff. They didn't mean any harm, but grow into a place, grow into an awareness that you don't have to stay in the shape that you're in, okay? You really don't. You can reprogram the way you think. You can reprogram your mindset and you can shift into a completely different state of being. And the only way that you can shift into a state of being is to first shift into a state of rethinking some of the same old thoughts. Hey, Denise says this. Benny says this. It is important to mention that folks should check with their insurance. Many offer mental health benefits that include therapy. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Check with your insurance because there's help. There is help out there. Find somebody that you can trust, somebody that you know is going to give you the best possible advice for you. And remember, everybody that's got a title on their door is not for you. Find out who it is that you can trust. Be mindful and think about it deeply before you engage in conversation with somebody. Denise says this: depression can come in all styles and triggered for different reasons. Yes. Can be in your group, you would not know. People can be in your group and you would not know because they are smiling. How can you first recognize it and how to help someone? It depends on how good an actor that person is, Denise. I know that I am an encourager. I know that about me. That is one of my gifts. I encourage people, and I always, always, always am on cue when I need to operate and activate that gift, even when I myself need to be encouraged. So, I have learned how to wear that smile. I have learned how to say, you're going to make it even on days that I feel like I'm flailing, even on days that I feel like that I need a booster. So there are people you may never know, Denise, because they have become so good at masquerading their pain, their hurt, their anxieties, and all of this stuff. I really think for those of you that are, for those of friends that are in your immediate circle, you have to look for things that are abnormal in their behavior. If you've got somebody that's always around, that's always the life of the party, and then all of a sudden things change for them and they're not around as much or they're not as lively as they normally are, then you would probably want to start asking questions. If you've got somebody that's always look like they are just so energetic, but now all of a sudden they just don't have energy, those are little signs that you might want to look out for, because people don't talk, like we should. We don't. We simply just do what we do because we feel like that we will be judged. We feel like that people will think we're less than wonderful. We feel like that people will think that we're less than powerful. And we allow that prideful spirit to keep us from getting the help we need. So you have to start looking and listening and just seeing if anything abnormal is going on in a person's behavior, especially those people who are quiet and to themselves and more of an introvert than they are an extrovert. And I hope that helps, Denise. This is one thing that I learned. It's okay to receive help from someone professional. Absolutely. It is definitely okay to receive help from someone professional. And it's okay to get help from someone unprofessional too. It just depends on where you are. And sometimes we just need a friend to talk to. That's it. We just need to know that somebody cares. And that's all that matters. And I think that when we perpetuate that care for our friend, our neighbor, our brother, our spouse, or whatever, when we perpetuate that, and they feel like they are never alone, they feel like they're never having to go through anything by themselves, I think that is healing. I think it's healing. I think hugs are healing. touches are healing. Conversations are healing. And we shut down. And if somebody is acting abnormally, guess what we're going to do? Instead of trying to figure out what got them there, we're going to in turn give them what they gave us, you know? And I can be that person. If I can go into the grocery store and the cashier is acting like she got an attitude, I can give one back to you too. I can give it right back. If you don't want to say hey, I ain't gonna say hey. If you want to act crazy, I can act crazy too. But I realize that sometimes I need to just see what got them there. So I've trained myself, even if they are giving me attitude, hey, is everything okay? What kind of day you having? You know, and a lot of times I get more information than I have time for. But I stand there and talk because all they want, all any of us want, is to know that somebody cares. They need to know that. We all do. So listen, that's it for today. We're going to stop there. Thank y'all so much. Get your questions, get your comments together. Meet me back here next Sunday at 5 o'clock because I really feel like that this is something that we all need to share with as many people as we can. You can also find it now on YouTube. So I really believe that it is something that we need to share with the world. This whole conversation, what got me to this point? What got me to this point? Because guess what? If something got you here, all we got to do is figure out what it is. And then we can go back to being happy. We can go back to being free, go back to loving, caring on ourselves first. And then it will go and be spread right out into the world. Let's make that a point, you guys. Listen, don't forget, get you some perfume, get you some cologne, guys. This week it's only $20. If you don't like it after you get it, you can always send it back to me. I'll send the money back. No problems, no harm, no foul. I just want to know what your thoughts are. Until next Sunday, stay safe, stay strong, stay focused, stay confident. Most importantly, stay defined. Talk soon.